No matter where your organization is on the decision towards upgrading iMIS, now is definitely the time to start your plan for this transformation. You've likely heard this line before, and you'll definitely hear it later again in our presentation, but this will be your last upgrade in iMIS. Allow me to take a few moments to talk a little bit about us. We're Visual Antidote. We were founded in 2006 by our president and CEO, Keith Stout. We are now up to 18 employees located mostly in and around the Toronto, Ontario area, but with a few of us located in Western Canada and a longtime employee situated overseas. In 2021, we were awarded ASI's Authorized iMIS Consultants of the Year, and we've recently matured to become an authorized iMIS solution provider with ASI as of November of 2022. Here's our agenda for the webinar today. I'm going to start our presentation off with a brief overview of what's changing in iMIS, reasons to consider upgrading to EMS, and then cover some of our favorite new features in the EMS platform. I'll then hand it over to my colleague Supreet to cover the different upgrade paths, there are more than one, and our recommendation and approach. Supreet will then hand the conversation over to James to review how you can manage the costs and how we can help. How iMIS is changing. The EMS version of iMIS is ASI's fully cloud-based offering. Sometimes people get confused on what this means as the conversation tends to revolve around self-hosted versus cloud-hosted, and your organization is possibly working with a hosting provider such as eTech, ATS, or even ASI to deliver access to your version of iMIS. However, the distinction is really between being on a self-managed environment versus a cloud-managed environment. For iMIS 2017, you are on a self-managed version of iMIS. Any updates to iMIS are manually scheduled and managed by you. Security patches and PCI compliance are your responsibility. Hardware and hosting fees are in addition to your iMIS licensing fees. Most importantly, there are no new enhancements or features coming for iMIS 2017. iMIS 2017 still requires the application to be installed on an employee workstation or on a terminal server so that employees can access it via remote desktop. The user interface is now considered outdated, with a lot of the tabs being really hard to read and small, and some tasks are still required to be done in the desktop, or half in the desktop and half in the staff site. For the iMIS EMS platform, it's fully cloud managed. Updates to your system are automatic and routinely scheduled. Security is always up to date. ASI has also taken over a lot of the PCI compliance of your system, reducing the burden and PCI requirements for your organization. Hardware and hosting is now included in your iMIS licensing fees. But best of all, your version of iMIS will receive new features and tools automatically 2 to 3 times a year or more. All staff can access iMIS from any web browser anywhere. The staff site is flexible, allowing you to create customizable interfaces using panels or even iMIS forms to improve your workflow in iMIS. And all the features are available through this staff site. You can now use your iMIS budget for improvements, not patches. What's new in iMIS? New and improved features in the EMS platform make it easier to create modern websites managed by iMIS. EMS is optimized for mobile devices with responsive templates, page layouts, and widgets available to get you started. There are new iParts that build off of standard features you already know how to use in iMIS, such as IQA templates. This is an iPart that will let you format repeating data from your site in a unique layout created by you as an option to the standard list view you normally see with an IQA. This example is from the ASI's help site showing you how you can use this template to quickly create and display a group of users on your site from your iMIS database. This could be your executive team with contact information, or maybe members of a committee. Because this is based off of an IQA, you can decide what information to include in the display, but now you have more control over how it appears on your website, and you can ensure that the data included is consistent between each element. EMS also has a robust API to allow you to integrate with a variety of web content management systems as needed. The iMIS EMS is hosted on Microsoft Azure, which allows for continuous up-to-the-minute backup and robust restore and recovery options. Should your organization be a victim to a ransomware attack, this security feature would allow you to recover your data from a time before the attack happened and get your organization up and running quickly without having to pay ransomware or be on the news. ASI also uses Cloudflare to add an additional layer of protection. It's a firewall that protects websites and applications from bots, distributed denial of service attacks, and continuously monitors for suspicious activity and potential attacks. As noted before, ASI is reducing your PCI compliance burden with their partnership with Global Payments. While this doesn't get your team fully off the hook, it greatly reduces the scope for your team for PCI compliance. Some of the new features that you get to experience right away, and some of our favorites are in the following sections. So I'm a proponent, I love events. So in the events section, there's now a new option to have event panels. That allows you to collect data that's specific to events in standalone tables and not necessarily connected to a person. Maybe you want to save some information about invoices for a specific event or anything else that you can conceive of. This is a really interesting feature that I think will get a lot of people excited. The second option I'm highlighting, dynamic purchase pricing groups. That's not specific to events, but it's where I use it the most. It basically highlights this feature in the desktop so you can access it and manage it. It's nice to have it daylighted. In the commerce section, promotions have been expanded with more features. Promotions can be applied to membership dues for new members or members that are renewing in advance. You can set limits to your promotion codes and have promotions be applied automatically or have a discount based on the quantity of items purchased. And additionally, when a customer submits a promotion, the cart is updated to include the code just underneath the line item that it's applied to. You can start to see your discount and which item in your cart the discount's been applied to. There's lots of advances in the membership section. It's fully on the staff site now. Members can renew in advance of billing. Adjustments can be made mid-billing term. Flexible terms and quarterly billing options are available to you. One of our favorite options in iMIS is the new report writer. It replaces SSRS and Crystal reports, but the best thing about this is ASI has done a lot of work to create many standard reports which you could use out of the box. You most likely can use it directly with your data without a lot of updates. And now it's able to be attached to a lot of marketing communications. We wouldn't be Visual Antidote if we didn't talk about forms. The iMIS Forms tool is obviously one of our favorites, but admittedly, we're biased as we were involved with the initial development of this tool. iMIS Forms replaces Sonic Forms and offers users an easy-to-use drag-and-drop form builder tool to create forms from your site in a mobile-friendly format. The rules engine allows non-technical users to add automation to their forms to automate and control some of the data entry options. There are a lot of other great features and tools for the EMS version, but I'm going to now hand it over to Supreet to continue.
Thank you, BJ. All right, let's talk about your upgrade options. There are 3 options available. First option is the direct upgrade to iMIS Cloud. You will always be on the latest and greatest version of iMIS with access to all new and upcoming enhancements. Choosing this version would mean that you would no longer have access or would need the access to the iMIS remote server. Before you all jump with joy, I'd like to point out that all old server-dependent customizations will need to be dropped and redone using the fancy new tools. Option 2 is my personal favorite, that is upgrading to the iMIS 2020 Advanced program. This is a hybrid version of iMIS where you still get the best of the new iMIS, and you can temporarily retain most of your previously developed customizations. Now, Why is this my favorite option? Choosing this is moving you away from the iMIS desktop and the desktop billing. Everything's now built into the much more modern staff site. You're still keeping the most of your customizations and SQL procedures, and you're frequently getting iMIS updates from ASI. From my experience, most clients have some level of customizations, so this version would set you on an easier path to move to pure iMIS Cloud, as it's giving you the ability to convert any leftover old server-dependent solutions piece by piece while allowing you that extra time so you're not having to rebuild them all at once. Option 3 is the least popular out of the three. This is upgrading iMIS but being self-hosted. This essentially means that you would start with the most current version of iMIS, but you're responsible for arranging your own hosting provider, whether it's a third party or yourself. You're not hosted by ASI. This option is only suited for large organizations who have lots and lots of customizations. I would like you to note that if you're interested in this option, you would need to get an approval from ASI before going down this road. From ASI's standpoint, here's a quick comparison between the three options. In general, both iMIS Cloud and iMIS 2020 Advanced Program are pretty comparable, with a small difference in the frequency at which iMIS is upgraded by ASI. You get a bit more frequent automatic updates in iMIS Cloud versus iMIS 2020 Advanced Program, but overall, they're pretty comparable. With both option 1 and 2, you will be getting the newer features and security enhancements delivered to you automatically, and you're always PCI compliant. Now, if you're self-hosting, iMIS upgrades, security, and being PCI compliant is the responsibility of the partner and the hosting provider and the client. Note, the ultimate goal for all three options is to move away from any server-dependent custom solutions that were built a long time ago. Now that you've heard about what iMIS offers, let's talk about how we do this. To start and get you more interested about the latest version of iMIS, we would like to offer you a demo where we invite and encourage all the different iMIS staff users to attend. Knowing how you use iMIS, we will give you a tour of all the new features and how they would make your work life better. The upgrade process would start with an analysis of your current system to allow us to make recommendations and then finally execute against a plan. When you hear the word audit, it starts to sound scary, but I promise we're going to make it not so intimidating. Based on your system analysis, we will provide you with a cloud audit report where we list down all components of your system and identify everything that would upgrade directly to the new iMIS EMS, or if it would need to be rebuilt. This would enable you to envision where you stand in terms of the upgrade and would also help you with choosing the most suited upgrade path. If the cloud audit hasn't been completed for you, I would highly recommend that we do this step sooner rather than later. Based on the findings presented in the cloud audit report, and keeping in mind that most clients have some level of customizations, we recommend that we split the upgrade project into 3 phases. Phase 1 would be where we would start preparing your system for the upgrade. We would work with you to pre-convert some parts and components of your system while currently on iMIS 2017 to the newer way so that they can continue to work after the upgrade. Like we could be converting Crystal reports to IQA, moving some SQL stored procedures to IDMS tasks, getting away from I'm using iMIS desktop and utilizing iMIS staff site more. Phase 2 is the official kickoff of the upgrade project, where we would be doing most of the development work to get you onto the iMIS 2020 Advanced program. Taking advantage of all the newer tools, we would convert or rebuild any previously built solutions that are no longer compatible. Now, while you're upgraded to iMIS 2020 Advanced, we will continue on taking on any new opportunities to convert any leftover incompatibilities while allowing you that extra time to prepare for the upgrade to Pure Cloud. Phase 3 is the final move to Pure Cloud. Having split this exercise into a phased approach would really minimize the effort required during this phase, as we would have converted most older style code to solutions that would be compatible with iMIS Cloud. Finally, we execute. The process would start with the client completing the paperwork with ASI, and we're happy to assist you with that. Next, Visual Antidote would work on the database preparation while ASI creates a staging environment and makes it available for development. Then we would complete the development and testing based on the agreed upon plan. Once fully ready, it would be time to launch your new iMIS EMS. Before I pass it over to James to talk about the next section, I would like to briefly talk about our tools that will make the upgrade project and tasks smoother and much more effective. Visual Antidote has developed several tools, out of which I would like to highlight the popular two. First is the Sonic Forms to iMIS Forms conversion tool. A good 80 to 90% of our clients use Sonic Forms in their current iMIS 2017 system. Since Sonic Forms has been upgraded to iMIS Forms for iMIS EMS, our form conversion tool can convert all the Sonic Forms to iMIS Forms in just a few button clicks. This tool has reduced the time and cost of the conversion process significantly by up to 80% per form. Now, if you're using Sonic Forms, it's very likely that you're also using Sonic Forms Document Manager. Visual Antidote has built a more advanced version of the Document Manager, and it's now called Document Valet. This is a fully cloud-based document management solution available to any current or new iMIS clients. Being on the road to upgrade iMIS, you can get the Document Valet now while you're on iMIS 2017 and migrate away from Sonic Forms Document Manager, so you're not having to worry about this at all during the upgrade process. For those who are interested, Visual Antidote can arrange a demo and show you the power of this product and its cool features. Now I'd like to hand it over to James for this part.
Thanks, Supreet. Manage your upgrade costs. In this section of the webinar, I will be talking to you about the upgrade costs associated with an EMS upgrade and how to manage them. Before I do that, I want to make sure that you know that regardless of when you are going to upgrade, it is important to know that this will be the last upgrade you have to pay for in your iMIS journey. First, let's talk about the evolution of the iMIS platform. I've been working with iMIS for almost 15 years. And when I first started working with iMIS, I was working with iMIS 15 and WCM. Some of our staff have worked with iMIS 10 before that. iMIS 15 was primarily desktop-based with a small website component called WCM. After iMIS 15 was the transition to iMIS 20 and the introduction of the iMIS staff site. With this version, a lot of features moved from the desktop to the staff site or were available in both. And now here we are in the next stage, which is iMIS EMS. Not only are all the features and the new features on the staff site, but most importantly, the way hosting and upgrades work has also significantly changed. With iMIS EMS, you'll be hosted on the cloud and upgrades will happen automatically in the background. If you've been working with iMIS for the last 10 or 15 years, you've been upgrading every 2 or 3 years. And you've had to budget the cost of that upgrade and budget your staff's availability. In the past, when you needed to upgrade, you would hire us. We put together a budget and a plan. We would work to do the upgrade first in your test environment. You'd have to test everything to confirm it was working properly. Then we would pick a go live date, and there'd be lots of resources around, our resources and your resources, all working together to make sure the upgrade went smoothly. So with this evolution of the iMIS platform, upgrades are something that is now abstracted away and happens in behind the scenes. You no longer have to plan and budget for these expensive upgrades every 2 or 3 years. ASI handles these upgrades for you, and they happen automatically as often as every 2 months. This also means that you don't have to wait 2 or 3 years to get new features in iMIS. You'll get them immediately as they come out. This upgrade may be more complex than other upgrades you've done in the past. For example, when you upgraded from iMIS 15 to iMIS 2017 or previously. And the reason for that is because of the major change in the platform itself. So what does this mean for you? If you have customizations that were built 10 years ago, you're going to have to rebuild these. Any custom crystal reports will need to be rebuilt with a new report writer tool. Event registration classes need to be converted to group pricing. Desktop custom tabs need to be set as staff site panels. Membership pricing will need to be reconfigured using the staff site tool. Complex membership pricing will need to be reconfigured with the staff site tools. There might be some change in your business process or additional staff training needed for staff that used to be using the desktop. And I want to be honest and frank and help you plan for this. It does mean that it may be more expensive to upgrade. However, the good news is this is going to be your last upgrade. Our recommendation is that you take a phased approach to the work that needs to be done. And that means a phased approach to your cost as well. So we recommend that you split this work into 3 phases. Phase 1 is work you can do while you're still in iMIS 2017. Phase 2 is the initial upgrade to the advanced 2020 version of iMIS EMS, which you can stay on for as long as you need. And then finally, phase 3 is migrating fully to the cloud version of iMIS EMS. Having the option of iMIS 2020 advanced 2020 version of EMS as a stepping stone before moving to the full cloud version of iMIS EMS allows you to break up the costs of upgrading over 2 or 3 years. Another key thing that you can do is have a key staff member who becomes an in-house expert. So, for example, if you have crystal reports that need to be converted into the new report writer, you can train a staff member specifically on report writer to do just that task. So you don't even need to hire us to do that. That can be something that you can do internally. We're always available though, of course, if you need us. iMIS offers access to its Learning Hub for free for 1 year with your EMS upgrade. So once you do start the process, all of your staff will have access. ASI has done a really good job of putting together a lot of training courses. Most of them are about 1 hour long, and they have a quiz at the end. If it's a really complex subject, then it'll be broken into 2 or 3 courses. Usually there's a beginner and an intermediate course for each of the major topics. So there's lots of tools on the new Learning Hub for your staff to learn how to use the new features in iMIS. We definitely recommend that you look into this new training. And if you make one person the iMIS expert on your staff, the rest of your staff will have a go-to person when they need assistance as well. Let us help you. And finally, let us help you. So let's talk about the ways that we can help you with your upcoming EMS upgrade. First, a little bit about our staff and the skills we have. We are very happy to announce that all of our staff are now officially iMIS certified. Staff are either a certified iMIS administrator or a certified iMIS professional. Within our team, we have project management skills. We can do general iMIS consulting, as well as business analysis, and of course, iMIS application development. So whatever you need in iMIS, we have the staff trained to do it. And we make it really important to keep our staff up to date with their skills, and they continue to do regular training. Something that we can also help you with, which you may not have needed in the past, but may need for this upgrade, is change management. Change management can also include helping get your staff on board with the upgrade. It can include tailored iMIS training or assisting with business processes that you need to change within your organization. Not only because iMIS might have some new features, but maybe these processes are old, and maybe it's been 10 years since you established them, and a lot has changed in that time. Also, you'll need to organize your staff's involvement in the many different aspects of the upgrade, so things line up and staff are ready when the EMS upgrade goes live. Let us help you coordinate all these pieces. Another option to consider as well, we can almost call this a kind of a consultant on tap. Let us help fill any gaps in your staffing needs that you have as things move forward. You might not have a key staff member that can become an iMIS expert. Maybe your resources are a little bit more limited. Well, we're always available and we can help. We can certainly figure out a way that makes this work best for you. For example, if we have somebody available for you and your team on a certain day of the week on a regular basis. In short, let's do a summary of what we just talked about and our processes. These are the steps that we think you should follow to have a smooth EMS upgrade. First step, and if you haven't done it already, is do our cloud audit. We'll analyze your system. We'll give you a detailed 20 to 25 page report of everything that you have and what needs to be done in order to upgrade. From that audit, we will create a plan with you, and we will recommend what we think are the best options. And that can include, for example, here are the things we recommend that your staff learn and what they can do themselves. And here are the things we are going to do. For example, here are the tasks we're going to do in phase 1, in phase 2, and phase 3, etc. And then finally, when we've done all that and you've decided on everything, of course, we'll be right beside you to help you execute that plan.